Okay,
it's going. We're continuing our conversation. You have an R6 analogy. You're on one side of the map, and
No, wait. I'm changing it.
Okay, he's changing the analogy. We're discussing.
No, shut up.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, is that you don't get an assist if you weren't directly involved. And
Yeah.
even indirectly involved. Like if you threw a grenade at a wall in R6, we're going back to R6, right? And you blow open the wall.
A video game for people who don't know.
Round, okay?
Yeah.
And then a minute and a half later, one of your teammates gets a kill through that hole in the wall. The game doesn't give you an assist for that. You know what I mean?
But
it doesn't count as helping.
Isn't the point system of that game arbitrary?
No, but what I'm saying is that in reality, I don't think that does count as because you didn't actually do it.
By what metric?
You used what was already there. You weren't consciously aware of it. I think it has to be. I think intention and awareness are important. Because in any system where you're judging anything, it will be subjective. So judging, if you do or do not get an assist, counts as being assisted, right? Like, does the Big Bang... The Big Bang's a bad example. Does, the next galaxy across being created count as assisting us? Because it's the slight gravity pulls that it has.
I think that the whole universe assisted you in each act.
Why don't we just say the whole universe is one thing?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can't. This is what the Buddhists think. You can't draw these separations. So earlier we were talking about an analogy. We were talking about, did the tree that dropped the seed for the tree that dropped the apple on Newton's head get an assist in inventing the theory of gravity? I think it did. I think it did, Will does not think it did. I think the distinction which first of all that story is fake, but whatever, just is a good analogy.
Yeah.
I think you're drawing a distinction between helping and actively choosing to help with a task, or
I think I am. Yeah.
Or being directly involved in that task being doable.
I wouldn't call it assisting. Maybe I would call it accidental provocation.
Facilitation.
Accidental facilitation of an event.
But I guess I can agree with that opinion, but it's definitely a different definition from what I would say of assisting in a thing happening.
But if you can't choose to assist, then you didn't assist.
Because of biology, right? Like worms, they dig in the soil in rivers, and that's really important to make oxygen go into the dirt for all the microorganisms.
Yeah, but do they know that?
The worms don't know that. They don't know it, but they're helping tremendously. So I have a different...
Yeah, but they're not choosing to help.
I know they're not, but they're definitely assisting in oxygenating the dirt. You can't argue that they aren't.
I'm not. I'm just saying they haven't... if you ask the worm somehow.
Yeah, it wouldn't know anything. It would be like, I'm hungry, I'm going to go over here. It wouldn't... Yeah.
I think that's the only... I'm saying in actual reality, it wouldn't feel like it was assisting you.
Yeah, I think that distinction is arbitrary. I think that...
Hey, listen, I'm arguing the human point, Oscar. I'm with you, fans.
Okay, I'm not with the humans. I'm with the AI. I'm with, some sort of objective science being.
Well, obviously I think that robots are going to take over the world.
Well, yeah.
But not, military,
We should discuss... I was arguing to several people, you and another one of my friends, that I don't think thought reading will be possible anytime soon with... AI, the Neuralink technology.
It's called biometric machine interface or something?
Yeah, it's not standardized.
Yeah, there's it's called a brain machine interface.
Yeah, BMI, which is the same as body mass index, which is...
there's also brain computer index.
Yeah.
That's the other term.
Brain computer interface?
Interface.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said index.
Yeah, whatever. I mess up words all the time. I get worried about that, messing up words, because I am a hypochondriac about my mental health, but I've noticed that everyone does it all the time. We're just stupid. Humans are just stupid.
Well, I'm the smartest human in the whole galaxy, probably.
Really?
Nah.
What about Carl Kington?
He's pretty good.
Undeniable genius.
Nah, he's English.
That's true. All English
Doesn't
people don't have good smart brain. Whoa, wait, fucking come on. I got it,
Hey, listen, that's what you said, not me. You know, your words.
Who? Prove it, you know?
Odie's words.
Odie, yeah, fuck man. Odie does a really good impression of me and he says really offensive shit sometimes. It's fucking rude, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't think thought reading is going to be possible with Neuralink technology because I was looking at this thing, and it's not just this thing that made me think this. It's also just the fact that what else? The other shit I know about brain science and psychology in general, which is they were testing to see what kind of brain, where the thoughts were stored, where specific thoughts were stored in the brain. And so they were zapping rats, which me and Will were talking about this. Do we need to be zapping rats anymore? Jesus Christ, bro. We do not need to be doing that. You could easily do this. Boo. Like, give them cheese. Or, like, give them, like, fruit. Or whatever they like to eat. Like, give them something and measure that. You know, you don't have to measure zaps. You know, like Christ. But so they were measuring this thing and they were isolating the brain pattern of the rat's fear, like, oh, it thinks it's about to get zapped, because they would like flash a light and then zap it or whatever, and then they would flash the light and it would anticipate that it's about to get zapped.
Terrible.
Yeah, which sucks. But so they measured that brainwave, right? That fear that it was going to get zapped.
Right.
They isolated it from all these different rats' brains, and it was spread through the whole brain. It wasn't like in one lobe.
So your point is that because of that,
Yeah.
brain-machine interfaces will have a very difficult time actually figuring out where our thoughts are and like how to put them together.
And it'll be this mess, this full like swarm of electrons trapped, all these neurons firing, and it'll be really, really difficult to determine what neurons are relating to each other and are relating to thoughts. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true, but I reckon they'll figure it. They got that. I was telling you when we were arguing about it the other day that like they have their big AI with the 175 billion variables will probably like what's got you got trillions of shit things in your brain to track if like
you do.
So they would just need to get
trillions of neurons, and it's not about the neurons. They have like 20 connections.
So they would just need an AI that had like a quadrillion variables, which is ridiculous
for each person.
Yeah, for each person, right? Which, yes, that will take a long time. Unless they figure out a way to make that more efficient, they will have to do that.
I don't know if you can efficientize it, because the brain isn't efficient. It's complicated and widespread and organic.
We'll see what they can do, man. I have a little bit of faith in the big tech.
I'm not saying it's an impossible technological feat, far from it. I'm saying...
Yeah, you're saying that they won't be that good at the start.
Yeah, it won't be good, and it's going to be like decades and decades. Like, if I'm an old man and I can like...
I think you might have like simple calculators and shit first.
And furthermore, I have a furthermore point.
Yep.
We can probably, maybe even once we figure out how to read someone's thoughts, and a computer can be like, he's thinking about pie. Like, I'm not going to be able to feel your thoughts in my brain. I'm never going to be able to hear.
Many big tech people have talked about how that is the hard part. They're not sure how to do that yet.
You'd have to, like, make a bunch of neurons fire in my brain, but not exactly the same pattern as you. It would have to be, like, adapted for my brain. And, like, it would be really complicated to take your thought and put it in my brain. Like,
I got to say, shout out Graham. Because he says that he listens to all of these like a Bible.
Really?
And he actually like...
Oh, thanks, Graham.
Yeah, he actually was learning from it, he said.
Oh,
and that made me feel good.
That makes me feel good, dude.
So thanks, Graham. I forgot to tell Oscar that, but you just got his reaction live whenever you hear this.
I've been noticing, dude. I've been looking at the analytics, and people actually are listening. Like 30% of our audience will listen to the end of a podcast, and we get like 17 views, which is, I know that that's nothing, but it's much better than I thought we were going to get.
And also Mum listens. Shout out Mother.
Fuck yeah, Mom. Big ups, Mom.
Big ups, Mom. You're a real G. You've been there for me.
Real G. Yeah. Mom's always been there, you know?
Yeah.
True.
From my birth.
She's
been around.
Not even joking. Big ups to Mom for always being an excellent brother.
Yeah, true.
I would have been a terror, a nightmare, an absolute normie.
Plus, raising kids seems pretty fucking hard.
Oh, it seems like one of the hardest things you can do. It takes 20 years minimum. Like,
It's literally like a heavy time investment. Honestly, from what I've seen about the economic investment, you can still make money when you have a kid. Like, you can still save money. Like, it's not like it's a complete dump of all money, but it's very expensive, I have heard.
and I'm like, you tend to value your kids so much that
It's worth money.
the more money you make, the more money you spend on your kids. So it's more of a percentage of your income.
Yeah.
Than it is like a flat rate.
Because, you want to give your kids stuff.
Yeah, I would say like most parents spend like 20% or 30% or whatever of their yearly income, no matter how much they make on their kids. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. Shout out the kids out there.
And maybe if you're poor, it would be like a lot more. And they would be like saving a lot more in terms of their own life,
True. Well, that's all circumstantial. But yeah, that got a little
Yeah.
depressing there. That's funny.
Dude, it is depressing. The wealth disparity in the Western world and in obviously the rest of the world is probably even worse. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely criminal. Like,
I think like 50% of people on Earth live on like $1 a day.
less than like it on like nothing. And there's so many people who are genuinely poor, and then a lot of like big businesses will try and make Westerners feel bad about that.
Dude, yeah, hey, by the way, if you think that you're poor, you're probably right in Western society. But
Yeah.
if you count, right, the average income of every human, you are probably guaranteed in the top 1%.
Yep.
If you're living in Australia, America, England,
But
like...
even in those countries, the wealth disparity is
Yeah, it's still
enormous.
90% of the people have got nothing compared to the 1%,
Yeah.
99%.
I think it's literally like 90% of the money is held by 1%.
1% of the people, yeah.
Even in the Western world.
So think about that. Those people, the 1% in our society are like the 0.0001% for across all humans.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous bullshit tiny minority that control almost everything.
Guys, they shouldn't have that much money.
Yeah.
Can't we all get behind that?
Yeah, eat the rich people. Goddamn.
Eat them now. Consume their flesh.
Consume.
It's
people.
tasty, I've heard.
And we need it. People are like dying because they can't afford medication for their kids in America and shit. Like, like fuck
Yeah.
me. And like
So
people
bad.
like, continuing my thing about companies are like, oh, you live so good, and it's like, oh, okay, I work, full time. I've got multiple jobs, and I can like barely pay my rent on my shitty apartment, like and my kids go to a horrible public school. And there's like, it's not like in the Western world we live like kings.
No.
We don't. We live like, even in a country that's very poor where you make not a lot of money, it's likely that you have family and that you have a house and that you have enough food to feed yourself.
Not necessarily.
Well, it depends if you're like a proper refugee. If your house has been blown up or something, that's a whole different thing.
I think poverty is still like,
But Papua New Guinea, a lot of those people were technically living in poverty, and they had like a front yard, banana trees, and they had a pumpkin patch, and they lived in very rough conditions, but they
they were surviving, if that's what you mean.
I'm saying the leap between that type of life and the Western life is not as enormous as you might think.
I think it is from their perspective.
It would be from their perspective, but from a Western's perspective, like, okay, you get to have a shower, you get to have nice water from the tap. That's obviously huge.
From like Australia to PNG.
Yeah.
The difference in lifestyles probably not a lot, but other way around, it's probably a very big change.
It would feel different. It would feel crazy either way, like transitioning vice versa. But as a Westerner, you probably use much more resources and you have access to better food and stuff. But it's only like in a video game, it's the difference between like level 1 and level 10, and meanwhile there's level 400 people. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like on the scale, it's not that much of an increase in terms of wealth on the actual wealth scale.
And that doesn't mean, that Oscar doesn't think that poverty is a problem.
I'm saying it's a massive. I'm saying the problem
he's
is
saying
way
that-
more widespread than we think.
Poverty is a problem that spans 90% of people.
Yeah.
And
It's really bad.
those rich fucks who control most of the resources, being like 1% of the population, need to
That
fucking...
needs to be evened out a bit, bro. I
Yeah,
think we
fix
can all
that shit.
agree.
And we're also not saying communism. No one said that.
No.
We
Communism bad.
Communism bad. We know that.
I'm saying, like, and there was a lot of people who fucking really hated, like, for example, Bernie's ideas about taxing the rich very heavily. And obviously, because the rich own all the media and have huge influences in those areas, there was a lot of, like, I guess you could call it propaganda, or you could just call it, like, news, quotation marks, I guess that's what that means now. Opinions where people were saying, like, oh, if you tax the rich too much, then they won't be motivated to become rich, and then they won't invent iPhones, and they won't invent Tesla, and they won't do all these incredible things that rich people do for society. Which, first of all, no. Rich people are rich because they have ridiculous ambition. It's not because they need more money.
It's because they want to be rich.
Yeah, it's because they love building an entire company and being one of the few people on Earth who's like, they still have power. They still want power, even if they can't get a shit ton more money. And
yeah.
Also,
like that argument of what is it again? They won't be motivated to get rich,
and then
therefore
they won't do the things.
The people who come up with that,
yeah,
are coping so hard trying to make them not demon people.
I think that's like written by Murdoch, like directly.
Yeah, they're trying to make it seem like they aren't minions of hell.
Yeah. And that might make me a conspiracy theorist, and so be it. I wouldn't be surprised if Murdoch is like, hey, can we make everyone shut up about taxing the rich?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're all kind of in on that. Like, not they're all in on it, like the whole rich people are all big deep state, but I mean, like, the people who control media and stuff like that, which anyone who knows about it would know that very few people control that type of stuff. It's a few companies that own most of it. I wouldn't be surprised if those people directly influence. They have meetings where they talk about like what type of thoughts and what type of things they want to support and what they want to really not support.
Dude, we are gonna get called out for being goddamn QAnon conspiracy theorists if you keep spouting on your higgledy like that.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry, Murdoch. We didn't mean it.
I didn't mean it, Murdy. Come on,
don't shut us down.
Oh, Rupert.
Rupert's a good name.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Come on.
Hey, yo, Byron. Take me out to dinner first.
Byron.
Joe Byron. Big bomb.
Yeah, and also, like, continuing on the rich people thing, if you tax people, let's say 90%, which is pretty extreme, it might not even get to 90%. Let's say you tax people 90% above $2 million a year. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big impact. I feel like we all understand that.
Bezos would still be making a shitload more money than $2 million a year if you taxed him 90%.
Well, yeah, because his income is like billions. He would still be making millions of dollars a year. You know what I mean? Like, he would probably still be able to hit billionaire after a while. Like, goddamn. That's crazy. See that? Guys, isn't it obvious when you think about that? Do that tiny logical leap and figure out that taxing the rich is not a problem at all.
It's not, man. Like,
it's literally, we're playing Minecraft and like one guy has like 10 stacks of diamond blocks and everyone else has like a diamond for everybody.
Yeah, everyone gets one.
Everyone gets one diamond to share. And Bezos has like every diamond on the map.
They have ridiculous, unbelievable wealth compared to the rest. They hoard it and they don't distribute it through the rest of society. Like, do you think that all the money that goes to Amazon gets fairly distributed around?
No, they just keep it.
No, it gets given to other companies, which are in turn owned by more rich people who are hoarding more of the wealth, and more rich people come up and they hoard more wealth. Like, rich people just found an infinite money glitch exploit, and they just don't want you to nerf it. That's all that's happening. That's what they're trying to fucking stop the fucking meta from changing.
Literally, they're like, oh no, I love my infinite money glitch meta. Yeah. And then we're like, no, you can't have that. And they're like, oh, I control the media though.
And they also have let's remember, they have the pay no taxes fucking
buff.
Glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pay no taxes. I think Donald Trump paid like, what, $700 or something? 1 year?
Yeah, something like that.
And that's not a good example. It's just off the top of my head, but they pay fuck all, man. They have ways. Like, they have all this shit in
offshore tax havens.
Yeah,
in Panama.
That's why I spent 6 months a year outside of the continental United States of America.
Yeah.
I have a ranch in Panama.
I have a silo full of tortillas.
6,000 liters of drinkable water.
He's leaving me again.
I'm sorry. I'm leaving. Solo.
This guy, dude. Literally, like, it's just a routine for him now. Leave me alone and afraid on the pod, in the void, in the black void. Or actually, no, in the picture void. I guess, because there's a thumbnail now in the videos. Anyway, so what are you doing? Ah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm being pretty good. Just recording a podcast and everything. Well, you know. Oh, look.
I'm back.
Who?
Who?
Identify yourself. The people don't know who you are.
I'm Baxter.
Is that a name?
That is my name.
Nah, that's shit.
No, you don't like my name? Come on, man.
Yo.
What's your name, bitch?
It's fucking Billy Bob.
Billy Bob?
The Serpent King.
Actually, nah, you're right. That is a much
You could have
better
come
name.
up with a much better name.
Yeah, but I said that I'm back, and then you said who, so I had to go with that, man. That's way more...
Oh, I see you did a funny little haha.
Yeah, I did
You did a funny little goof.
Exactly.
Hey, most of the people
Yeah?
won't listen this far in now. We're good. We can do 21. We can do whatever we want.
21, oh, okay.
God,
The last 9
no,
minutes.
hey, never fucking ask me what it is again. I don't like saying how long the video's been going for in the video.
Yeah, it is annoying because it's just dead air for people who are like, I know how long it's been going.
And if you're listening to it in the background, sometimes you don't want to know how much time you've been wasting.
No, I feel that. Well, I like the topics we covered so far in this episode. We covered a little bit of philosophy about discussing fucking,
Some cool shit.
yeah, some cool shit. And then we were talking about, like, you were talking about assisting and whether or not and what the fucking differences in helping were.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about a couple different things. And then we
I feel like the viewers will know what we're talking about. They're the ones
Yeah.
watching it after all.
Yeah. Anyway, we went through some fucking good topics this one. We were talking about employment before. We should maybe discuss the way you feel about jobs.
God, man, it's like people keep trying to be like, oh, get a job. And it's like, why would I want to spend my time doing that? Like, I want to be happy in life right now. And a part of that involves, I don't want to do work. You know what I mean? And it's like, I would do work if it was fun. Most of the jobs look really fucking boring.
And why do you think you're not interested in like most jobs that other people seem to be able to do?
Because they seem really fucking easy, and I get bored really quickly of shit. Like, I've played too many games, and I've done like enough shifts, like one time at places where it's just like, I understand the game they want me to do, but it's so boring. Like, I'll play Kenshi, bro. I'm good. If I wanted to play a boring as fuck game for more fake points like money, I would find a better one.
Bartender sim.
Yeah, like, I don't want to play Bartender Sim. It's not a fun game.
You're right, I feel you, dude. I feel that.
Money feels as fake to me as, like, Monopoly money, in the sense that it doesn't give you any happiness. You know what I mean? Like, you can get shit you like with money, right?
Yeah.
And that can help. But if you have problems, money's never going to be that answer.
Almost never, unless it's like your house is gonna get fucking taken.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, traumas. Like, emotional problems. Money won't fix emotional issues.
Yeah.
It's just like you can buy medicine.
Yeah,
Oh, you can get some
people
food.
who are in the upper echelon of wealth still are miserable.
Yeah, I think most rich people are miserable. Like, a psychology study on rich people, it was literally like, most of them have terrible, like, depression and, like, sadness.
Yeah. Well, obviously, they have to have something wrong with them to want that, to do that.
That just put me off the idea of getting money. And I know that sounds stupid, but, like...
Some rich people have really lived it up, I'm sure. I'm sure some of them are, like off the charts happy.
Who?
There's one guy, he was on Rogan, he's like this Indian dude, and he was kind of annoying and obnoxious, really, but he was very happy.
Well,
He was a rich guy, and he was like a.
Does that sound like real happiness? If you're being obnoxious,
He was a meditator. That's why he was like that. So he was rich, and he was like very well practiced in meditation practices and like getting rid of desire and all that sort of stuff. So he's like.
Well, what does he do with his money?
I don't know. I think he just like invested in stuff. It's just like he's just playing like capitalism sim, and he just uses his money to get more money. Like.
So he's not a really good person. He's just a rich guy.
No, and it's very against Buddhism to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's
What he was really annoying. He was like, first step to being happy, get rich. That's literally his advice, and he's like, oh, you can get rich. Like that was his point. He was like, dude, you just gotta like start hustling, and you gotta, if you can make value for a company, you can make value for yourself. So you just gotta like start working in the off time and figure out a business plan.
Yeah, so what he did was he decided he wanted to do employment like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And while I can respect the grind, not everyone has that type of gamer gumption, friend.
Dude, almost no one can do that. Almost no one wants to do that.
God,
Like-
you just that one sentence sounded a little too much like me from that guy that you quoted.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just get rich, bro. It's not hard.
That's how I would sound in a video game if I was never humble.
Right? Yeah.
I would be like, what do you mean? Just play better, idiot.
Just fucking like look where you're shooting, bro. Like yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a direct quote from me from my COD days, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Just look where you're shooting.
Just fucking aim. How about that? Have you
Yeah.
thought of that?
Yeah. Oh, such a little goblin. I love it.
Oh man. Well, yeah, and that was the vibes he was giving off, and he was polite and stuff, and it seemed like him enjoyed a good conversation, but like, fuck, man. Humble's not the word that I would use, and also, like, realistic is also not at all the word I would use. Because his point that, like, oh, everyone can get rich, inherently, he knows that that's false. Like, he knows that that's not fucking true. Like, he knows that if everyone could get rich, no one would be rich, because that's how fucking supply and demand works, and that's how inflation works.
Yeah.
So he knows that, oh, everyone can get rich. Inherently, he means, like, other people won't do this, so this is what you should do.
Yeah.
Meaning, he doesn't think it's at all realistic to suggest that everyone do that, and then you'll just be really happy. Like,
You know what? He probably figured out how to be happy while being rich, so he doesn't have a reference for poor.
plenty of happy poor people. Like, who are we fucking kidding? Like,
Yeah, see, and that's another thing. Poor people are probably more of them are happier on average. Why would I want to be rich?
well, it's like the Homer Simpson level of wealth.
Yeah.
Where you have, like, the perfect amount of room for, like, excitement and struggle and, like, spiritual growth, you know, like...
Spiritual growth.
Mm.
Chemical chance.
Oh, what is that from?
That's Bill Hicks, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, chemical change. What atheists say during sex instead of, oh,
God,
God. Yeah.
Dude, Bill Hicks is so much funnier than us. If you haven't watched any of his shit, you're an idiot. And go watch all of his stand-up.
Oh, chemical change.
That's him when he's talking about what atheists do when they have sex.
Instead of saying, oh, God. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's another one? What the fuck does he? He's like, he said, Big Bang!
Oh, Big Bang.
Yeah.
That's the end, I'm sure.
And then he says some other little lines about it too.
What are your favorite Hicks bits?
I really love his hog heaven jokes when he's talking about the Middle East, and he's like, pull up G8, and then it's like,
Yeah.
and then he makes all these sound, and then it's like,
Oof.
and then it's like, whoa, that was cool, pull up G9, and it's just,
the premise is that he's talking about, that's like how that's what they're doing out there, just testing military weapons.
yeah,
and
just
troops.
going crazy.
Woo! And he has like this one, it says this one will just leave
The fillings in their
lead.
teeth
Yeah.
helps pay for the war effort. Yeah, I know all those bits. I love Bill Hicks so much.
Oh, man. What else?
Bill Hicks, well, I don't want to just do all his bits.
Might as well.
Okay, I mean, he is, perished, R.I.P.
Yeah, rip.
But another one of his good ones where he talks about redneck aliens.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, why are they always showing up as well in hillbilly places?
Yeah. And he has the bit where he talks about they all go out with shotguns to meet the aliens.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, wait, we're going out for a skeet shoot. Oh, there's one now.
Yeah. And he started shooting down UFOs.
As if that's
And then
what they think is gonna happen.
Yeah. And then he talks about we call them boogers.
yeah. Racist.
Yeah.
Be racist.
Southerners would be racist towards aliens.
Boogers?
Yeah, little green man.
Boogers is hilarious because it still has like the hot eye you can
Yeah,
do on
it's
it. Like,
it's literally could be a racial slur against aliens.
boogers if there was a green race of people.
And then another one of his great bits, what you reading for?
What you reading for?
Yeah.
Wow. I've been asked what I am reading. I've never been asked what am I reading for.
Yeah.
What an interesting question.
Just completely stumped me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you reading for? Yeah.
Looks like we got ourselves a reader.
reader.
Yeah. Watch Bill Hicks' specials.
Oh man. You want to do comedy?
I would like to do comedy. It's pretty fun. Hey, I mean, we're at 30 minutes.
Oh, that's a good end, people. Fucking
Hey.
thanks. Hey, thanks for sticking around for another episode of Prematurely Jaded with your hosts Oscar and Will.
I'm Charlie Tuna.
And I'm Jimmy Catfish.